Welcome, everyone. We're at DerbyCon. That's where we are. I'm with Danny Akacki. Danny, you're a customer success representative for Gigamon. Is that correct?
I am. I'm a senior technical account manager with Gigamon.
Awesome.
On the customer success team.
That's not why you're here.
No.
You're here because you spoke in the Mental Health and Awareness Village.
Correct.
Is that correct?
I mean, they paid for me to come, so technically that's why I'm here. Thank you, Gigamon.
You're giving back to the community and talking about an issue.
Yeah, they're super supportive of that.
Super popular, which is awesome in our, that we're talking about the issue of mental health and wellness in our industry today. Why is it that I think that in security, we've got an issue with mental health enough that it has to be addressed in our events, which I think is good. Why is it that we have that in security today?
See, and I kind of go in and out about this. Like, I'm not a PhD. I've never done extensive studies. But I think maybe it's not that we have a higher preponderance of it. It's just we have more people that care, that talk about it, that bring it up.
Or even more people that don't want to talk about it.
Right,
or
exactly.
That mixture of two, I feel like it goes in either extreme, right?
Right. Yeah. Part of the reason why I give talks like the one that I gave today in the Mental Health Village is for people who can't. We all have friends that work in the government sector that need clearances or just aren't comfortable talking about it. So I started talking about it because I'm going through it and I went through it. So let me try to discuss it and say I can try to speak for people who aren't. And I've gotten a lot of feedback saying I can't say this in front of my boss. I can't ask my boss about this thing. So thank you for giving me an outlet for it. So a couple years ago I created a website. It's InfoSanity.org.
I've heard of that before, actually. Yeah.
I started a couple years ago where I put out a bunch of questions to people online saying, hey, what are you going through? Are you supporting somebody who has a mental illness, or are you currently going through it? And answer these questions. And being in security, I thought nobody's going to ruin OPSEC for that. Nobody's going to answer me. Right. And I got more responses than I knew what to do with. And that's how the website started, and that's what spawned my talk that I gave today.
What tips do you have for people that may be dealing with maybe not a full-blown mental illness, but maybe just some mental health challenges, like not feeling good about yourself, depressed,
No, for sure. So two of the things that I covered in my talk are things that I think are kind of universal for especially us. We deal with burnout, which Jack Daniel has done a ton of work with, and that imposter syndrome coming up. So I've only been doing actual security for about 7 or 8 years. Before that, I did a decade in IT. So going to security was changing careers for me, and I went right to Mandiant. So I find my way in there with the smartest people in the business, and you can't help but think, why am I here? Why are people listening to me? Why do they want me here? And that can cascade.
Is that what you mean by posturing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that imposter syndrome of I am the dumbest person in the room, and if you get too caught, everybody has a little bit of that, and that's kind of good. It almost keeps you a little sharper. But it can cascade on you, and to the point where you really start believing that you suck, and it pulls down your job performance, it pulls down your family life. It is a weight that will slowly drag you down. So recently, at least for me, what I decided was I find myself surrounded by the smartest people in the industry, people I can call friends now. And if they believe that I can do something, and they come to me for advice or expertise, why would I question them? Am I calling them stupid? So if they believe in me, maybe I should believe myself a little bit more. And that works for me. But
no, I think that's a great tip.
Yeah, so it's I'm not going to, for lack of a better word, disrespect my friends by saying, you're all wrong, and you shouldn't believe in me. So I started believing more in myself. I also, I write a lot. I do a lot of blogs for InfoSanity. I have my own personal blog. I created my own local DerbyCon group. Really following Jack's advice, when you feel burned out, when you feel like you're not good enough, actually take on more work, but it has to be work worth doing, right? It doesn't have to be
more work that's rewarding.
Work that's rewarding
is the best cure for your mental health.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I created my local DerbyCon group, which is DerbyCon8.
Also, hanging out with people that understand the problems that you can talk to by creating your local group is a great way to do it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that really helps. So creating and taking on more work that was valuable to me, and I could see. Because we've all worked in corporations that we can't always see the bottom line that we affect, and sometimes we think we're not affecting any real change. I can see every time a new person shows up to my DerbyCon meetup, I'm doing something right.
Right. Yeah. So you're getting rewarded. That's awesome.
Right. So when it comes to burnout,
the next conference, there's a mental health and wellness seminar here. What's the next conference you want to bring that to?
So I would really like to see it at DEF CON. And I know that Black Hat had its own like human track. I think this year for that. I don't remember if DEF CON did it, but like it's a much grander stage. Even just like a little small village space for them in a place like Vegas where you have that cascade of people to kind of appeal to. But honestly, like it really starts just like any real change at a local level. Like bring it to your local B-sides, right? Like I think
that's good advice.
Yeah, I would like to see, and it's not always like logistically possible, but if every B-sides could have its own little space for like here is a chill-out room, and maybe have some talks. Maybe like Amanda has a puppy in the room for people to kind of pet and chill out. So start locally. I would love to see it at huge places like Shmoo. I don't know if Shmoo has it, but I think people are coming around to it now, and they realize the value of it, and the fact that even one person shows up, I think does a lot of good.
And your website is InfoSanity.com.
It's .org.
.org.
Yep.
InfoSanity.org.
Yep.
Danny, thank you so much.
No, thank you, Paul. I really appreciate it.